Hi. So what is fair market value? Essentially, it gives you control and make sure you get no surprises. And we do that. We got a real system which we developed over the years. We've been doing this for 17 years. And I think we've come across a lot of the situations which arise, which do give you surprises, and make you feel like maybe you're getting ripped off. Maybe people are being a bit profligate when they're spending money in what are relatively low cost areas for you, but add them up and your indirect spend is an important category. So what we look to do is make sure that you're not getting ripped off with bad contracts, suppliers who are not aligned to your business. If you're dealing with people, you want them to be engaged in your business and bought in to your business. They're going to be better suppliers. Where we've got clients who've got retail sites, we encourage people from the suppliers to actually go to those retail sites, visit the retail sites, maybe work in them, a day a year or something, just to understand what actually happens at the sharp end. So that alignment's important, and that helps you to feel that you're not getting ripped off. If you know that a supplier is working with you and part of your family, if you like. Spending money carefully on indirect spend is always a challenging one, because on the one hand you could say, well, we only spend a small amount of money, so if we saved 100% of it, it's not going to be the end of the world, and that is right. However, it's also right to say that add all those small bits together and you've got a pretty significant spend. And if you didn't, you wouldn't go around not worrying how you spend £500,000 a year. You might not worry about how you spend £5,000 a year, but if you've got 100 suppliers, which is quite common, who you're only spending a small amount with, then that adds up. And part of what we do is that we try to reduce the number of suppliers that you're dealing with. That means you don't have 100 you're spending £5 with. You might have 2 you're spending £250,000 with. So we'll look to do that. But then what we'll also do, we'll look at that spend, that £500,000 of spend, and even if it is 100 suppliers, we break it all down from each of those suppliers, and we would understand what you were spending, and then we'd say, okay, these are your options for that. And it could be you need more than 2 suppliers. There could be some unique products in there. There might be relationships which are important to your business in there, and to your directors, and etc. Often happens. So we look at what works for you, but then you come out of that exercise knowing that on that spend, that 500,000 to spend that you've looked at, that you're actually spending the money wisely, and that's what's important. That is part of fair market value. We'll get the best result for your business. No two businesses are the same. Everyone has different requirements, and the TPG service is all about personalization, customization, making it bespoke to you, and not to anyone else, not to the guy down the road, not to your competitors, not to anyone else. It's bespoke to you. And if we're working with your competitors, we'll do a bespoke one for them as well. But it will be bespoke to them. That will be around payment terms. It will be about deliveries. It'll be about cost regulations. It'll be about how-to guides. There's so many elements which come into this when it comes to implementation. And what we believe fair market value is, it's not about price. It is absolutely not about price. If we do our job properly, you will get a fair price you'll be paying a fair price for the items you're buying. You might not be paying the lowest price in the market, but then do you want the service level from that company? Do you want the payment terms from that company? Do you want the account management from that company? You probably don't. You want all of those things wrapped into a deal which gives you a fair price for what it is that makes your business run. Because all of the areas that we deal with in indirect spend, the whole purpose of the indirect spend sector, or the category, if you like, is to support your frontline activity. Don't detract from that by getting some crap products in which are going to let you down, or some supplier who's going to just not have stock availability for you, or you can't get hold of their customer service team. Nightmare scenario. You don't want any of that. You've probably got your department, the finance department, running at full pelt. Maybe some months you struggle to get the management accounts out on time, and you're burning the candle at both ends to get them out, and it's just frustrating. So you don't have the resources to do this work. And that's what we can do for you. We can help you. We can do that work for you, and give you a feeling of confidence and control about this spend, so that your guys can focus on what they're there to do, which is to process the paperwork, make sure when you make commitments to suppliers to pay them on time, you're doing that. Make sure that your departments internally and your sites are getting the reports that they want, so that they can buy into your vision to what your accounts department does. But none of that has anything to do with managing indirect spend. It's a complete pain in the arse. And we can help you manage that. We make sure that you don't get any surprises with invoices coming in from suppliers late. So we'll do accruals for you if you want to. We're very happy to do accrual schedules, not a problem. We can do accrual schedules for our fee as well, if that helps. And our fee, by the way, is a third of the savings for either 12 months or the duration of the contract. That's it. No ifs, no buts. That's it. So we identify savings. You go into contract or an agreement with a supplier, and invariably it's the existing supplier. It's a lot less risk for your business and for mine if you contract with the existing supplier at revised terms, which work for you. So that's what we do. So we identify the savings, we identify what a fair market value is to pay for the items which you want, with the service wrap that you want, and the payment terms that you want, and the product quality that you want, and the service levels that you want. So we identify all of that, we get all that put into one bundle, and then we implement that for you with your teams. We'll do as much or as little as you want, but it's in our interest to get it implemented, obviously. We'll do that in a timeline that works for you, and then we charge a third of the savings for 12 months in arrears, based on what you actually save. And if you don't want to go ahead with it, then we'll charge you as if you had gone ahead with it. But ideally, you'd go ahead with it because we've met the criteria you want, and everyone's happy. So fair market value is about a lot more than just price. We'll stop you having to waste time trying to get hold of suppliers, negotiating with suppliers about piddly little things. You should be negotiating about the items which drive your gross margin. That's where your interest should be. Because if you can tweak your gross margin by 0.5%, that's going to make a huge difference to your business. And that's an important element of this whole fair market value piece. Trust us to deal with your indirect spend. And where you have contracts and relationships with suppliers that are not aligned to your business, we will do our best to get those relationships aligned to your business. We'll sit on supplier reviews. If they're not happening, we'll make sure that they happen. We'll get both sides talking to each other, so that there's clear dialogue, very open, and usually we find that works well. And we just manage that to make sure nothing gets forgotten. You might agree 10 items in a meeting, 9 of them are done, 1 of them isn't. Well, we'll be the people who pick up on that one that isn't. And all of this comes around to letting you, the finance director, the CFO, sleep well at night, so that you know that you're in control, you've got absolute control over what's going on, and you're not going to get any surprises. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, feel free to contact me. My email is simonu, the letter U, at procurementgroup.co.uk, and my mobile number is 07768 421 901. Thank you so much, and I hope you found this informative. Bye now.